Hello, hello, and welcome to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity, Continuum, Aeon, Luna Rocks. That name never gets shorter. I am your story guide, Scott. Tonight we have Murphy playing Hannah, we have Nigel playing Bram, Diane playing Frankie, and Puka playing Mycelian. When last we left our punks on the moon, they had discovered an access point to the mysterious online game server that has been buried in the depths of the moon. And some of them have started to venture forth inside using a strange biotechnological interface device that was buried amongst some of the maintenance tunnel. Uh, I believe it was Bram and Hannah who had started to get in and tinkered with character creation, while Frankie and Mycelian stayed outside in that maintenance zone. Um, let's start with Frankie and Mycelian. So you have your friends there, and they've sort of positioned themselves so that their bodies aren't in weird positions, but they still have like a hand into the goo. What are the two of you doing while they kind of just lay there lifeless?
Resisting the urge to draw mustaches on them.
Oh,
But
Um, I guess I'm just standing guard over them currently to make sure nothing's going to come over and try to eat them.
yeah. I mean, it's very quiet. Like there doesn't seem to be any more beasties or anything like that. It is just cold, quiet, very still.
this is a little bit weird. I mean, are they mice kind of like pokes at both of them. Are they
Yeah, I mean, they seem pretty unresponsive. Like there's a bait, like they twitch a little bit when you poke them, but it does not seem to rouse them.
Um, did you think it wasn't this weird? I mean, you guys left me out here last time. What did you think you looked like when you were in the goo?
I don't know. I guess less less zoned out than this, but
Almost looked dead? Yeah, that's how they look.
well, should we should we stick our hands in goo also, or do you want to,
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can go stick your hand in the goo, but I'm not putting my hand in that crap. I've watched you guys bleed from the eyes and nose and mouth and crap. No.
It
I'll
wasn't
make sure nothing tried.
unpleasant.
Did we forget the weird thing that attacked us?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So I'm gonna sit here and make sure that you all don't die to whatever comes around.
Just for the record, if it is possible for mice to, because as I said last time, I wanted to like see if I could, scrabble together some parts and attempt to assemble some kind of interface that didn't require just plunging one's hand into the goo. But
Yeah, you know that whatever you're going to create, is going to be um, it's basically it'll be a dial-up connection to a broadband game. Whatever interface it's going to be um, not it's going to have problems interacting on the level because this is designed to be a full immersion game.
if it's dial up that doesn't make you bleed from the eyes, that might still be a point in favor.
True enough. But yeah, you started working on that, but you know that's going to be a little difficult, and it's not going to be anywhere near what the actual interface is like. So as you guys are standing guard, you're starting to tinker on that a little bit more. We will move into the world of Terra Surge, where uh, why don't Bram? Why don't you describe the first anima that you've created for us?
Okay. Um,
You guys are in kind
I
of like
will.
you guys are kind of in this liminal kind of misty space where you can like see like a basic outline of another person as you are like swapping in characters and they become resolved. So like you can interact with the misty outline of the other person, you know, as normal, but then they become real when you slot an anima into it.
Bram kind of flips through the brief little blurbs of what everything is. Um, he gets into some of the lore. You hear him like, oh yeah, I'm totally doing this. And he starts assembling a pile of rocks. It looks like just granite stones, maybe a few heavy river stones, a few big crags that you would see just kind of like out on a nice nature walk. If you happen to live in Georgia, like most of y'all do, you've seen these on any given nature walk, just big white and gray streaked black granite. Um, and it looks very innocuous, but it suddenly animates as a spirit, as a sentient possesses it and sort of gives it motive force. And you see beneath it Yotan, Yotan, as the name that has been selected for this sentient whose class is boundless. He is a spy.
All right. And Hannah, what about what's the first option that comes from your venturings in the character creation system?
Appearance wise, she goes for sort of a aggressively andro looking Indiana Jones looking character. And I also go for boundless, so in my case medic. So and my bag has a little medic symbol on it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you're very much a fantasy human guy kind of
Yep.
thing. So yeah.
Way too many buckles all in my outfit for some reason.
Oh yeah. What about pouches?
I'm not a wizard.
Okay, so yeah, so the both of you, once you've sort of selected your characters, the system recognizes that you are grouped together, and so you see you have these option of lists of starting areas, and they've got the plateau for the human area, all sorts of different starting areas, but you also see kind of appended to the bottom something that looks, it says custom option, the boulevard.
Custom option, right, Bram?
I'm good with that. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Click.
Okay, so yeah, you are picked up by a wind, and it was kind of the fact that you were in a full immersive situation, a little. It feels real when you're in there, but when this wind picks you up, you start really feeling things. Like you feel like you are being picked up and carried through the skies as the wind comes past your face. You're sort of buffeted by forces as you swoop down and then are placed on this wide plain, and you feel like the warmth of the sun shining down on you. And there are very long cobblestone roads laid out in many different directions, sort of radially, and you see along these roads hundreds of houses, for lack of a better term. Some of them are very simple. Some of them are like elaborate mage towers. Some of them are like a big coliseum, like different buildings that are just sort of laid out almost like they would be on a suburban street, going off in many different directions.
Well, if I was some kind of weird.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just wondering where I might go if I was some kind of strange, light speaking goo critter that lives in now that wants to talk in a video game where I might want to meet somebody.
I was going to ask, do we see anybody else?
It is empty. Like you see wide open roads and like plains beyond it, and no one is around.
I'll call out. So here's a question. Does Bram's voice come out of this giant walking rock golem? Or is it generated from the model?
Yes, it is generated from the model. And like as you are like walking around, like you call out. So yeah, this what sounds come out from the model?
It still has an accent, but it's just like, "Hey, yo, what all's going on? Anybody over here?"
It kind of like echoes out into the emptiness, and then eventually, uh, a a little like pixie kind of flits out from some shrubbery, and it says, "Hello, new adventurers! Excellent! Welcome to Sinestia. What sort of adventures do you seek?"
I wanted to know where all the people are. The other folks.
Oh, well, this is the other folks, the other adventurers, the other heroes. They're all out through the world, having grand adventures, meeting wonderful people, building things. They've built many different houses here. They come and they go, but as you can see, there you can make a home for yourself here.
Is there a way to PM other adventurers?
Um, says, you used an out-of-game term. Does that indicate you'd like a low immersion communication?
No. Is there a way to send a message to other adventurers?
Yes, indeed. I can lead you to the post office.
Let's do that.
And she just sort of flits off in a direction down, sort of like towards what looks like more like a common square area, just a couple of blocks over. And you see like it's not arranged like a typical fantasy town is. There are like it's arranged like someone building a base and like has their maximum efficiency. So it doesn't it looks wrong, but you can also say like, oh, okay, this is built for maximum efficiency and maximum flow. And like she leads you over to this post carriage where there's this gruff looking dog man being like gingerly taking little packages and notes and says, "Hello there. Would you like to send a message?"
What if I don't know someone's name or address but want to send a general message out to adventurers offering assistance?
Oh, all right. Well, we can. He kind of indicates over. We can go to the general notice board.
Before posting anything to the general notice board, I see if anything else is written on it.
Yes, there is quite a lot. Uh, it is much like the town square. It is laid out more like a database or a spreadsheet. Like their things are grouped and lumped, grouped together and things like you can like wave your hand over it and then like messages expand out. Um, and like there's a lot of information here. It seems that whoever's been using this, presumably you know who, have been using it to sort of catalog and use it as a common source of information as they do whatever it is that they do in here.
I try to look for whatever just is the most recent thing that's been posted to it, or that somebody's put up on it.
Yeah, you can look for that. And let's see. Well, you guys never actually had contacted these people, so they wouldn't talk about that. Um, the most recent, the most recent stack that seems to have a lot of activity on it is talking about the Citadel project. And it seems to be a lot of like quests and gathering of resources and dealing with NPCs that seem to be all focused on building some sort of fortress or citadel or edifice, and all that information is grouped there, and that seems to be the most like recent topic.
So it looks like that's where people are. I'm pointing this out to Bram. What was your character's name again? Or
Yotam.
Yotim. Yeah, I don't know. Mine has the word Sarah, Sera, written, or if you, however you interact and see character names, that's what mine has.
Yeah,
Should we?
like there are all sorts of options that you can set your immersion level.
Mhm.
Like you can have a full HUD up, or it can be just like literally no information whatsoever, as though you were there present.
I probably try to figure out for me, like just getting the lay of it is like as immersive as can be, except I can select to get information about whatever I'm interacting with, if that's possible.
That is
But
absolutely possible. It's
yeah.
incredibly intuitive. Like you just like, but there's a little option where you can like bring up a little gnome iconography, and you can just tell it what you want, and then make tweaks from there.
So yeah, for a minute you just see me sort of like probably looks like I'm staring off into space as I'm just trying to orient myself to this world. And then kind of snap back. So I guess we can tell people we're here, or we can just go there and go to the Citadel place and see what's going on. What you think?
I asked the postman, hey, how do we actually go to this Citadel place? Can we like zippity zap over there like with some magic?
He's like, oh well, yeah, there's some portals that you can take, but I think you got to have the right kind of access to it. The Builders Guild, they're the ones that control that.
Yeah, who are they?
Oh, they're a group of powerful old adventurers. You know, they have a lot of different members, but you know, there's only a couple of them. He kind of winks.
So like, you got a name? I can send them something, like a letter.
Like, oh yeah, well you can totally, yeah, absolutely, you can send a message to their guild.
All right, how do I do that?
He says, well, he sort of indicates a pile of stationery.
Yeah, sure. Why not? So he sits down and in just the ponderously large fingers, picks up a little quill and just starts writing out a quick missive. So what should I say? Like, hello, I'm from the outside world. I'm here to save you. Or
Hello, we're from the outside world. We'd like to meet.
Okay. Oh no, I like that. Short and simple. Hello, I'm from the outside world. I would like to meet you. Sincerely, Yotan / Abraham. No, I'll fold that up and hand it over to the post office. Yeah, deliver that to the Builders Guild.
All right, we'll do. And he picks it up with his huge paw, and takes it over to a little mailbox, and puts it in. And maybe 30 seconds later, he's like, "Oh, it looks like you got some mail."
I'll open up the mailbox and take it out.
Yeah, there is a short missives, and it says, "Well, that was quick." And there is kind of like a little gemstone that falls out.
I pick it up and ponder it. What is it?
That's probably the key for getting through that portal.
Yeah,
I guess.
You ponder it a little bit, and it does. When you look through it, you can see a little like dotted trail of moats that lead you off in a direction.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Let's go this way. Thanks much, dog guy. What was your name?
I'm Postmaster Ruff.
Thanks, Postmaster.
Postmaster Ruff. Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a lovely adventure.
You too. Yeah, you too. Have a nice day.
And goes back to sorting mail.
He re-enters his animation loop.
Yep.
Yeah, I will just be looking through the little gemstone and okay, and I'll lead us along the trail.
It doesn't take too terribly long. You go down like a block or so until you see one of these like massive, like pretty massive, ornate looking structures that's pretty central to the town area. And it has the Builders Guild HQ. And much like the town square and the message thing, it is when you get in, it's laid out max efficiency mode. Like there's very little like fantasy tropes. It looks like they just took like the basic stuff and laid it out in the most like efficient way to like there's like storehouses of stuff. There's another big like message board in there as well. All sorts of like little resource stations laid out. And near the back of the big main room is a big honkin' swirling portal. And almost instantaneously when you guys walk in, it flares to life, and a Cheruvian woman kind of floats her way out and says, "Greetings. Welcome to our guild hall."
It's a nice place.
Yeah,
Howdy.
yeah, it's great. So you guys are from the outside.
We
Yeah.
are, and in the interest of not repeating ourselves over much, is there a place where we can gather with anyone that might want to talk to us?
I'm the one that's going to talk to you for right now. The others are engaged in
Understood.
fantasy bullshit that we've been doing for decades.
All right, Bram, you wanna give a quick introduction of ourselves, or you want me to?
The messenger
Uh-huh.
said that there would be 4 of you.
We got 2 on the outside watching over us.
Messenger?
Yeah, some fucking, procedurally generated person who told of us of the next grand stage of our quest would herald four heroes from the outside, new adventurers, new one.
They'll probably catch
They
up to
pretty
us
things up a
eventually.
lot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's real hard to get them. A lot of it, we have grown out of all of this. Like,
Yeah, and they seem real big around immersion.
yeah, they really do. It's a lot. They seem to be really interested in telling us and getting us invested in things, and none of us have been invested for years. So,
So speaking of which, what's the last bit of news that any of y'all ever heard about the outside world, so we can calibrate how much to catch you up on?
the Shanghai Accords were about to go into effect, and we all signed up around then.
Yeah, I think yeah. All right, so in case it's not clear, the company y'all signed up with doesn't really exist anymore in the traditional sense. So y'all have kind of been stuck in here for a long time, obviously.
Yeah, we
Um,
know. It's
yeah.
not great. It's not great.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. We're working on coming up with a solution to end that to get you guys back to the real world.
So,
Um,
okay, so who are you people?
that was where we're gonna get to next. Bram?
My name is Abraham in the real world.
She says, like, okay, do you want to talk normally? There's a setting that you can
Oh, is there?
toggle.
No.
Yeah. She's like, go to settings, go
I
to
like
voice
this one.
modulation.
Testing. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. I'm good. Ah, thank goodness. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, yes. Hello, my name is Abraham. This is Hannah. We live on the moon. I don't know if you like.
Yeah. We were on the Olympus colony. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Sorry, I'm not much for history. The details and particulars of who and exactly what we all are. Whatever. We just
We're some dumb kids in a bang band.
we found the facility when we were doing some spelunking, and here we are.
I mean, we assumed that we were abandoned.
Abandoned's not quite the right word. There's an AI, a real one, I think.
We know Chewie.
Okay, yeah, she's the one who brought us to y'all to do some maintenance on your machinery, and that's kind of how we figured out your situation.
She's
And
actually surprisingly invested in your well-being.
Yeah, she has to.
yes, because what were you gonna say?
I mean, it's the way that's her job. Yeah.
Well,
What should be surprising to know, we have tried to figure out as much as we can about our situation. And we're pretty clued in. My partner is pretty good at talking to Chewie when their communication exists. So he's gotten a lot out of her, and at least in regards to our situation. She doesn't know much about what else is going on, and please don't tell us for right now, because I'm sure whatever it is going to be a huge distraction.
You mean like as far as like news about the outside world and all that? That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That'll take forever.
Yeah. We don't need to know that right now. If you're gonna get us out, that's fantastic.
Well, we are. Now,
part of all that whole like stuff going on in the outside world, there's been some communications between us and something else kind of adjacent within the game world.
Yeah.
The best way I can describe it to you or anybody is it is completely alien.
Yeah, we know what's up. We don't know what's up with that. We know that something new came in.
Okay.
A couple
about this. Why don't we talk with you first about how we're going to go about getting you out of here, because it's not exactly straightforward, and then maybe you can help us by helping us find this this alien thing and telling us what you know about them.
Cool.
And,
yeah, whatever you guys want to do. As long as you're going to get us out, then we'll do this however you want to do it. We're not going to mince words.
So Chewie's kind of holding all our lives in her hands right now, yours and ours.
Yeah.
And if we were to just disconnect you from these machines and end your login, she would murder us all, apparently. So we're not going to do that, because you're not the only thing she's taking care of down here. There's actual real AIs or artificial intelligences that are part of the system that are working, that need people that need players to interact with them, and that's why she's in this weird loop where she won't let any of us out until they're taken care of.
Yeah, the narrators. They're the
narrators.
Yeah. Like I said, we're pretty clued in about our own situation.
So what we came to with that is we're gonna try to find depending on what you have to say about this, we want to try to find replacements for you, not people, SIs. Did y'all have those back then? Whatever. Other machines to play in your places. It's just going to take us a little time and money to get that together, which is why we can't do this immediately. I just want to get that out there so nobody's hopes get raised and dashed right away.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And we had talked about that as an option, but not one that we could pursue.
Well, I don't imagine there's an interface for that from within here, right?
No. We're just here.
I could see the appeal of the silly world for a while, but
oh no, it's
50 years.
It's great when if you can leave.
And the other thing, of course, time's passed, so age didn't stop happening. I'm sure you guys are all well aware of that, but just putting that out there.
Oh yeah. That's been a hot topic on a lot of people's. Because we're disconnected from our bodies, but every now and then you feel something that doesn't feel great.
How many of you are there?
There's 5 of us. I mean, we all have hundreds of animas. That's the only thing that makes it worthwhile, is that every now and then you can just restart your life.
All right.
That's some really heavy shit, and let me just say, I'm sorry you've had to deal with this, and I can't even begin to imagine what that's got to be like. I'm real sorry.
It's like being in an infinite playground where anything you want can happen except leaving.
I like the golem just kind of spreads his arms out. Can I give you a hug?
I mean, sure.
Hug.
That is big.
like Sully from Monsters Inc. Just like,
Thank you. That's nice. It's the thing is just like I know it's the same kind of hug that I've been having for decades, and I know that there's a real hug out there waiting for me. So.
It won't be that much longer now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. About the whole resources thing. Really, don't take this the wrong way. But do any of you have money? Because even the
That'll make it
simple
much
interest
faster.
account,
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have money. I mean, that was part of our contract. Is we've got some financial recompensation. Most of it going to like children or other people who are still out there. We don't know what the status of that is. But yeah, we can hold on. If that's what you guys need, then yeah, we can talk about, and we'll talk about giving you guys access to some accounts. We don't
It would
know
take us,
exactly what the status of those accounts are. But yeah, we can give you some passcode information.
and if you wanted us to try and find anybody, like if you know any legal representation, a family, or anything like that, like we will happily pass messages on. Again, we want to get you guys out of here as fast as possible.
Yeah, most of us didn't have a lot going on when this offer came down the pipe.
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
Uh,
Well, all right. So, is there anything else you want to know regarding how we're going to what we're going to do on the outside for your situation? Since I think we pretty much
no,
covered the.
it sounds like you guys got a really good plan, and that's really great to hear. So yeah, let's maybe you want to talk about things. So I'm told, from what we were told, like I said, there's 4 of you, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we don't really have much of a name for it. It's the presence. What we were able to parse out from the kind of the fantasy nonsense is that it is it's hiding here, and these four souls will come from the outside to be judged and assayed, to see their worth. So I'm pretty sure all 4 of you are gonna have to come and deal with this thing.
Gotcha.
I mean, we can go get the. It took a little bit of work to get us logged in because we don't have the implants you got, but.
Wait, you guys don't have glass?
No,
the
and
presence put a goo nodule on some wires, and we touched that, and that helped us get here.
I'm not gonna think about that right now because that's
I wouldn't. It
just
was gross and weird.
that's just that okay.
biotechnology's come a long way.
Cool.
It has, and that's some really strange stuff. But yeah, if you want, we can go ahead out now and try to get the others to come in and join us, and meet back here.
Yeah. We
Given the trouble that I had, like getting across, I kind of want to stick around. Just
That's fine. I think I get the feeling it won't be as hard for me again. So I think what we'll do is I'll get them logged in and then join them.
Yeah, she pulls out she goes over to a big book, and says just write your name down in here, and this will give you you can just respawn here.
Oh, even better. Thank you. Oh, what's your name, by the way?
She says, my name is Emmanuel.
Nice to meet you, Emmanuel.
You have to put in a name. It's you look over at a letter. It's literally like an alphanumeric code what her name is right now.
Mm-hmm.
In the game, it's like we just started making a system for our identities because there's only so many times you can hit the randomizer on the fantasy name generator. But yeah, sure. Yeah, if you want to head out, uh, you know, it's annoying, I know, but like, yeah, the way these quests go, because you're gonna have to go on a quest. Like, it's just the way things work here. And this one has a heart. Like, you gotta have four. The four outside souls must journey down the path. It's so
It's gonna be a
annoying.
whole thing.
It's
Got
gonna
it.
be a whole fucking thing.
I mean, if it wasn't getting in the way of practical achievement of for you guys, that actually sounds kind of exciting. Anyway, back in a bit, and I go ahead and press do whatever it is to log out.
Yeah. So back in the real world, things have been pretty quiet. As they've been laying there. Um, and after a little bit of time, you guys hear Chewie's voice sort of like coming through the maintenance hall. It says, "Guys,
Oh, hey.
hello. I don't have a projector in there."
Oh, hey. What's up, Chewie?
Um, I think I'm gonna have to do some stuff.
Stuff.
Mice reaches for the breathing apparatus.
It's like,
Okay.
So I'm picking some things up on the sensors that I have out in the out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna have to lock down the facility.
What are you detecting?
I don't know. The last update had some parameters about some pattern recognition about people trying to find this place that shouldn't find it, and just like there's some indicators going off in those protocols. So
Okay.
so
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Lockdown.
I'm gonna have to turn off some of the power. I can keep where you are pressurized and powered, but if you could like, I don't know, like try not to move so much.
Okay. Go
It's
sit down
I
and be
don't know what it
quiet.
is. I just know that the new update really doesn't like certain kind of activity making its way closer to the facility, and I'm starting to get some indicators there. So yeah, you'll be fine in there, but I'm gonna turn off the air and the power on all the non-vital areas.
Will we still be able to
Okay.
contact you?
He's like, I mean, yeah, you can. I'll keep enough for my projector, like my AV projector, so that we can talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still not letting go of the breathing apparatus.
Frankie just kind of nods and goes, "All right, well, do what you need to do. I guess we'll be in touch." And gets back into the I guess the crawl space and finds a spot to sit down that isn't on the goo.
Okay. And it's about that time that Hannah eyes pop open.
Oh,
Whew. Hey,
oh, good morning.
Well, you're not dead. That's good.
not at all. It's very neat in there. We made contact with one of the people, one of them. I kind of point in the general direction of where the bodies are. Um, they are very eager to get let out. They're going to help us give us access to some of the to a bank account to pay for SIs to put in the system so we can get them out.
That's good.
Um, whatever was controlling whatever that was we talked to earlier, whatever kind of alien creature that was, is there, wants to talk to us, but won't until all four of us go on some kind of quest in the system. So you guys need to join
Absolutely
us.
not.
Frankie, you can be
Hannah,
so loud in there. You don't even know. It's amazing. You will be able to make your voice heard across mountains and valleys. You should hear how Abraham sounds.
I
Bram
watched
sounds.
the blood come out
I'm going to
of
go
your
last.
nose.
I will heal you if we have to. I'm fine for that.
You
And
want to go you want me to put my hand in that
yeah,
fucking goo
I
like
do.
you all did
Yep.
with the weird alien thing that tried to kill me.
You don't know it tried to kill you. It may have been investigating you, and then we murdered it. Also, I don't think that was part of it. I think that was just like, I don't know, a disconnected pseudopod.
Not
Probably.
to mention that Chewie's about to have to shut down the life support and shit out in the
Wait, what?
front, and we only
Okay.
have the yeah, yeah. No, it's not great. she has to shut down all the power and the life support shit for everything that's not vital. She's gonna keep our crawl space apparently okay, but like she has to shut down everything else because there's things getting
Well,
close enough to detect the facility.
well, we're gonna need less life support if we're all asleep and in the system.
Yet that what part of there's things that are approaching did we miss? Because
So
what
do
if
you
they
want to?
approach and they find us and we're here and we're all passed out,
Hopefully,
comatose, looking half dead?
she can talk to us in there. She can come wake us up. You can just leave whenever you want once you're in there.
Yeah, but what happens if we start interacting with because the weird alien thing fucked with the code the last time? What if it fucks with the code again and we can't get back out?
Well, Bram's gonna wait in there until you come in, so I guess he's just gonna be there forever.
Aww.
This
That's
is dumb and this is stupid.
Yeah, it's real stupid. Let's do it.
while this is happening, can mice poke Bram in the brain like in the other timeline with talking to the people who are hacked into the system?
Yeah, you can mind speak to Bram fairly easily.
All right, just gonna poke Bram. Bram, it's it's mice. I'm knocking on your brain. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so inside the system, you're kind of like sitting around exploring, like there's a big bar that has like just like infinibeers, um, and like you hear this sort of like distant, scratchy mice voice talking to your head.
Yeah, I'll let him in.
You having fun? Are you staying out of trouble?
Uh, yeah, I guess. Mostly just kind of looking around. It's a real nice place they got in here.
That's cool. So listen, don't freak out, but we're about to lose power and pressure through most of the facility.
Whoa, do I need to go? Like, do we need the beat feet? We need to get out of here.
It doesn't seem like it, but I'm gonna put a breathing apparatus on your face.
Okay,
Just in case. Just in case.
I appreciate that. Hannah made it back okay.
Yeah, they're arguing right now. So,
Yeah, I had the feeling. Look, just tell Frankie that it's okay. That we'll all get through this together. And the faster we start, the faster it'll be done.
that's very sweet. I will let her know.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Just slip it on me. I might have some intel for y'all to do some searches for. Um, soon. I don't know. They haven't really gotten me any names, but yeah, I'm sure Hannah told you all of it. Yeah, this place is wild. It's wild.
Right on. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. And then
Bye. Click.
Unpoke.
Mice will
We-
put a breathing apparatus on Bram just in case.
yeah, that's a good idea. We should probably put those on before we go in anyway.
Yeah, and like these are super advanced. Like they can like detect pressure or oxygen levels and auto activate when needed. So you're not wasting stuff when it's on your face.
So, just in terms of tinkering, I think I have a proposal for what Mice has been working on,
Mm-hmm.
which is actually based around those breathing apparatuses. So, kind of combining it with like goggles and then just using their own sort of like paranervous system thing that they have, the Bioware that they have, using that as a model to create like a haptic interface.
Mm-hmm.
So, the two goals are to be able to safely like manually disconnect, like actually take, I mean, kind of like actual VR that we have in the non-game world. And then ideally to make two of them, one for Mice, one for Frankie. But if only one can be made, then Mice will give it to Frankie because Frankie seems the most hesitant about fondling the Jello. So
Okay. Let's see. You already started this. Um, uh,
and I will use any and all technokinesis at my disposal to make it function if necessary.
yeah, like that technokinesis isn't going to directly help. That's more about connecting to existing systems. This is going to need to be a this is definitely going to need to be a technology role. to continue working on this. Like I said before, this is very difficult to do without like a biotech lab, uh, specific like building resources. But you can attempt to make something happen.
All right, we're gonna do a roll. All right, it's a good start. 3 successes with 1 enhancement for jury rigging, if that applies.
Yeah, it'll apply. Yeah, you cobble it together, like you've got kind of that basic interface. Um, uh, you start wiring it up, and you like, do a little test run, and it is basically functional. Like you can kind of like see like the character creation system screen through it, but it is very disorienting. Like it's trying to parse levels of information that your system is not up to the task of doing so. Um, so yeah, like you can kind of see what's going on, but actually like interacting with the system or doing things in the system um, is going to be disorienting at best and not very functional.
Okay, I will continue to try retooling it as much as possible until we really all have to be in there. So
Well, you hear me arguing that we all have to be in there.
yeah, but you've been arguing for a little while now, so maybe I have a few more.
Yeah.
Few more
Yeah,
minutes.
with the resources that you have, you think you've cobbled together what you can.
All right. Is it possible to make 2 or only 1?
Only one for right now.
Okay.
You don't have what you need to make a second one.
Mice is gonna offer it to Frankie and be like, "Listen, I know you're not into the semi-sentient alien Jello that we've all come to know and maybe not love, but at least be acquainted with. And I feel for you. I understand that. I've touched it. I've been sucked into its gelatinous embrace. I'm maybe a little more okay with it than you are, so here I made you this." And it's like this big clunky
What is
VR.
that?
Well, you put this part on your eyes, and this part on your face, and this part on your hands, and then you can log into the world without having to touch Jello. It won't be as nice.
Is this also going to make me bleed from my eyes and nose?
I don't think so.
Frankie, you're much tougher than I am. You'll probably be fine. And if not, we'll fix you. I'm fine. And I was bleeding from the eyes and nose. It's not that bad.
How much time passes in there? Because we're not hooked up to any systems. We still need to eat. We still need to go to the bathroom. We still need to, like, have functions.
I was in there for what, 10, 20 minutes?
Yeah,
I'd say how
yeah.
long I was in there for.
It was a like syncing up the time. Yeah, about that.
It's about 1 to 1.
Give me a Carillion eye roll.
Sure. That's highest mode plus
Plus,
high psi,
yeah,
right?
Vedikinesis. It would be your highest Vedikinesis
Okay,
mode.
which is my yep. Okay. 2 successes.
Yeah, kind of on a hunch, you kind of look over at Bram's form and like the interplay between him and the goo. Um, there is like a nutrient flow between it and him.
You know,
Like it's
I think
feeding him.
that's like I said, Frankie, we can leave whenever we want, and unless something changes, and I really don't think you need to worry too much about that. The more important life support's the and point at the breathing apparatus. I'm not going to mention the feeding him part because I don't think Frankie would like to know she's being fed Jello.
Probably a smart plan.
Already pretty mistrustful of the Jello.
Very. Uh, Frankie just like looks at the apparatus, looks at the goo, looks at like the comatose, half-consumed body in the jello, and she's just like, "This is. I want you all to understand that this is an absolutely terrible idea."
Only his hand is inside.
Yeah, you just
Fair.
have to put your hand in.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, just your hand.
it's just
Fine.
it's
We
just a
don't use
hand.
our hands for anything.
I mean,
Well,
you
not
could
while you're
put
in
the other
there.
body part in if you want, but the hand seems like the best option.
I truly hate all of you right now. I want you to understand this.
Yes, yes, Frankie. Come on, you've never been afraid of something I'm not afraid of. Go for it.
I just
Being
spent an
afraid
hour
is not
tutoring
it.
for you.
Being afraid is not it. I am being the realist. A part of weird, strange sensors are being tripped that something's trying to find the facility. We're in a fucking crawl space with fucking goo that we don't know what it is, with a creature that wants us to go into its home turf to have a conversation in a world that it is known to be able to edit and make it to its own whim.
Yeah, it sounds really stupid. So, should I go tell Bram we're not going to do it, or can we get on with the show so we can see what's happening?
Frankie just looks utterly pissed and utterly like just angry and just literally just puts her hand on the goo and is like, I literally hate all of you.
Roll stamina for me, please.
My sighs and puts down the apparatus. Fine.
As Diane realizes, I probably should have pulled up my character sheet.
You know.
Doing great. I'm doing great. Let's see here. Yes. Where's my stamina? Do I have stamina? I do have stamina. Okay. Cool.
I don't want Frankie to botch, but it'll be really funny if Frankie botches.
I have 2 successes.
Yeah, like it is disorienting and strange. There's a lot of like synesthesic information that kind of gets parsed through, but then you ease into it and your stimulus, like your eyes stop seeing and then you start seeing things in your brain, and you start to see that very long, sort of drawn out, very cinematic cutscene start playing.
Man, like the whole time she's skip, like the
And it's,
entire time, even though it doesn't let her, like she's hitting the skip button that she can't actually hit.
yeah, like it's grayed out. Like you see the skip button, like you see press here to skip, but it's grayed out.
You'll skip
Probably
nothing.
yelling, "This is dumb. I don't want to see this."
um, yeah, so that happens, and you eventually land yourself in this sort of misty mountaintop kind of area that is the character creation screen.
Are you fucking kidding me? She's just done with all of it. She like literally just like randomly puts things together. Like literally, she doesn't even take time to read it. She's like, whatever. And like comes out with some like Joan of Arc looking character and like full plate with a sword, and she's like, I look fucking stupid. And she's like, whatever. And like she doesn't like she like starts like she literally puts in fuck you as her character name, but realizes it won't let her do that. So she's like, whatever, Frankie. And like like literally she's just like zero fucks given. And just like presses enter. And she ends up with a human fearless defender woman that looks remarkably like Frankie because she literally couldn't be bothered to think of anything else.
There you go. And then does mice come into the system as well?
Yeah, after disassembling the apparatus they worked so hard on, and just putting the breathing portion over Frankie's face in case they lose life support. And then putting one over their own face.
Okay. Yeah, and you're able to get in just fine. And what does the character that Mycelian come up with look like?
Kind of like an ambulatory fish person bedecked with sort of iridescent frills that are billowing gently as they move around.
Nice.
Which is
And
the Chirovian.
mhm. And what character class did you come up with?
A channeler supporter.
Excellent. So yeah, you are able to both log in. Hannah, you see that she goes through the
Yep.
process no problem. Now you can
Yeah,
put the apparatus on your own face and get back in the system. When Frankie and Mice are done creating their characters, like you see that sort of login option, you see Builders Guild Hall as an option. You can bring them with you.
I do.
So you guys,
Sorry.
yeah, for Hannah the situation is pretty instantaneous. But for Frankie and Mice, it is that wind picking you up. Like you start feeling that full immersion sensation really start to kick up, and like you feel here, you feel like you're in this world and things are happening to you, and it eventually swoops you down over across this boulevard, and like you blow in through the doors of the guild hall, and then all four of you are there in the guild hall of the Builders Guild.
I'll click on my voice modulator for this. Hey, I made it!
That's Bram.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Bram.
Yeah, and you've been having a conversation with Emmanuel. Yeah, we'll actually zoom in on that. So, what would you like to discuss with Emmanuel while you guys are waiting for them to come in?
I guess like what all they've tried to do to get out, or to or any like additional details they might have learned about Chewie, or about like the system itself. Like I'm looking at it kind of from from the point of view of larceny and my lockpicking special. Like,
Sure.
if this place is a cell, what have they done to test the boundaries and try to escape? I want to try and approach it from that angle. And generally just be a nice person to this person who hasn't had anyone but 4 other people to talk to, maybe, like at a maximum capacity, 4 other people in like decades.
Well, like she explains, like, yeah, there's 4 other real people, but like the system is really good at generating NPCs. Like she goes like, I have had whirlwind romances, and like epic rivalries with people who seem, like you really have to dig down to like see the cracks in the seams. So it's not, but
it's just so wild. Like, I mean, I can really see the appeal, I can really see, I gotta be honest, if it weren't for the whole, just, I don't know, the invasive brain surgery necessary, this could really make a mint today, like,
yeah, I mean, like I said, like we all knew that the Shanghai Accords were going down, and which is like there's a good reason for it. That people got overwritten.
yeah,
Like there was, we never really figured out what was going on with it. Apparently, like, like we knew that the Aeon Covenant had something to do with dealing with whatever the problem was, but people like lost their minds. Like they got overwritten by NPCs. It was kind of nasty. That didn't happen here, like on the Artemis server. It was down in the Cascade server that happened. But yeah, no, there's a reason they shut this shit down. So yeah, who knows? Maybe with whatever weird biotech you have nowadays, you can make a bunch of money by resurrecting it. But I doubt it. But yeah, no, we have give me a persuasion roll, please.
in game with my anima card, or
no, Bram's persuasion.
okay. Let me open up that file.
Like that is really for interacting with NPCs and the like. This is one of those instances where like, no, you're actually talking to a person.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
I will do cunning persuasion.
Okay.
Or is no, excuse me, I'll do a social. So I'll do manipulation persuasion, which is 3 dice.
Okay.
Would gunplay, low gravity, or locks factor into this?
No, I wouldn't say that any of those would work.
Oh, I got one success.
Yeah, she's just like, they've tried a lot. Like, they've tried a lot. Like, their ability to access the systems is incredibly limited. Like, and it's really all about their contract, like, and how their accounts were set up. Like, you know, they've like, hey, if one of us could get out of there, then we could, you know, try and hack the system from the outside, but not one of us can get out of there. You know, we've talked Chewie's ear off trying to find loopholes and things that we can try and trigger in her to figure things out, but they really, really, yeah, like they talk about how, like, they speculate that, you know, they think that they were put in there to maintain the value of the assets, essentially the narrators. They did not want the narrators to get corrupted or go crazy, because, you know, the company thought that they might be able to turn this thing around and use them for something, but that's not a thing that happened. So, like, yeah, like, she is very, very happy about the prospect of getting out.
Yeah. I do ask, like, if she had any, like, where did she live in Olympus, like, when she was, you know, when she was a resident in the real world.
She says she personally lived in Yucatan, which is like the Chinese base.
Does that still exist?
Yeah, it's a
in
part.
modern day?
It's a part of Olympus. Like, it's been integrated into, like, the main Olympus colony. She's like, yeah, like, you know, we've all, you know, spent days upon days of speculating of, like, oh, how has things changed? What's out there? You know, how did we get forgotten? You know, but there'll be time for that.
Yeah. I think, I mean,
I think
everything changes, you know, but I think you'll find it's probably a bit of a nicer place than when you left.
good to know. I mean, hey, it's not like the aberrants are back or anything.
We'll talk later.
And she just kind of, like, is blank for a little bit. Okay. And it's about this time that the doors blow open and the three of you are whooshed into the guild hall.
Click. Hey, how you doing? It's me, Bram.
What
All
a
right,
beautiful
well.
singing voice you have.
The Emmanuel, fish lady Emmanuel, kind of looks at you and says, "Hello, I'm Emmanuel. Thank you for coming in."
That's Frankie, and that's Mice. That's the other two of us. So.
Yep.
I will walk over and scoop up Frankie and just, like, kind of, like, give her a hug and a kiss. You are being hugged and kissed by rocks.
This is dumb. Put me down.
No, it's
Get
so
this-
cute.
Let's get this over with. I didn't want a beer in the first place.
Yeah, so I guess you said we have to go on like a quest. It's a whole thing. So how do we start that, Emmanuel?
So she kind of indicates over the portal. We'll take you to outside the Citadel where the messenger is waiting for you all. And yeah, you're gonna have to kind of, like I said, it's gonna be a whole thing. There's a quest. You're gonna have to do it. You know, trying to have fun with it. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, all right. Hey, actually, before we get started on this, I'm sure some of you have died here so far since you've been playing this game, so to speak, for 50 years. What happens? Like, do you just make a new character,
Oh,
or?
no. There's ways of coming back. There's like an underworld that you have to navigate for a little bit. There's actually a whole lot of stuff in the underworld. Like, we tried one time, like, we tried to get out by, like, by like clearing the underworld. It didn't work. But yeah, there's an underworld. It's a pretty simple process. You just kind of have to navigate that for a little bit, and then you can come back. It takes a little time, but, you know, there's also just, you know, hopping onto a backup character.
I mean, this feels really real. Stuff doesn't really hurt too much, right? Like,
Not if you don't want it to.
good to know.
Yeah,
Yep.
how do you do that?
Yeah, she walks you through like the settings and whatnot. She says, "Yeah, I mean, you can just talk to the gnome and tell it what you want it to be. But there's like you can customize stuff all you want."
Frankie, in her brain, while they say to try to enjoy this, Frankie is more of the opinion of this is a job and I just want to get through it. So Frankie like streamlines a lot of her stuff where she doesn't want full immersion
Mhm.
because she doesn't want to be like fall prey to this place being like, oh, this is reality now. So she's like, nope, don't want full immersion. Like some immersion is fine, but full immersion, no. Like Frankie is like the bare bones of like, okay, I can experience this, but I want to know it's a video game.
And you can absolutely set it up to be like as video gamey as possible. Like there's a full HUD with information. Like the immersion gets fully broken by how like layers of artificiality you can put on it.
Perfection. Frankie has hers like maxed out because she's just like, no.
Emmanuel says like, you said you guys were into Bang, right?
Yeah.
She like sends you
Yeah.
like sends you little messages and says like, so yeah, we've got a small music library, and you guys like look at it, and when you look at the music tracks, this is like last generation Bang. This is before it got like co-opted by the current generation to being like the multi-sensory thing. So it's mostly just like a list of music files,
Oh, so much vinyl.
basically. Yeah. She has a vinyl Bang collection that she shares with you, which like
Out of all the things, that is what Frankie is enjoying the most. Like, doesn't give a shit about this technological like immersion stuff. No, the Bang music, like that she's actually interested in.
Yeah, I scroll through a little bit before we head out. I'm just like, when you get out in the world, you're gonna love what we're doing with it these days. All right, well, shall we?
cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so she leads you over to the big glowing portal, and she's like, it's keyed to the Citadel, so just go ahead and step on through.
I am not going to worry. Yeah,
Bran will go for. Bran has all of his immersion set all the way up. He's loving this.
Is there a psychedelia setting?
She says, yeah, and she like pulls out a patch of like of weird little plants and fungi. Just take those.
Oh, wow. All right, that works. Mice pops them all at once.
Yeah, and like things get a little trippier.
Groovy.
But yeah, so you all step in through the portal, and you see it's like the climate changes. It's like it's a little colder. You know, the sky is kind of overcast, and you see you guys are standing at the beginning of a drawbridge across a big ravine, and this very strange iridescent crystalline structure that seems to go way up into the sky. And there are like you see like on this side of the ravine there's like a big wall with multiple like ballistas and like defensive encampments. On the other side there's another like ringed wall around it. There are like summoned spirits like patrolling the skies. This place is built to withstand a siege.
well, I guess
She's
I'll
like,
look around
yeah,
to see if
this
anything
is.
looks. Oh, okay.
She's like, yeah, this is what we've been doing for the last 3 months. The narrators, like whatever the presence like the presence got into the narrators, and it this is what all
Yes,
of
it
our
did.
quests have been.
Yeah, we saw that the presence had made some code changes, so I guess that makes sense that it would, whatever it's up to, whatever they're up to, would
It made
manifest itself in
several
the game.
actually.
What'd you say?
It made several actually. It
Yeah.
didn't like it when I pointed it out.
So you guys think it's an alien?
Yes.
He it thought and light, so Oh, that's gonna be complicated
Yeah,
to
none
explain.
of us have seen it. Like it's in there somewhere.
Well, the
So-
biotech that we saw that it left was something crazy crap I've never seen before.
It's goo.
Does the Citadel structure by any chance resemble the sculpture that we saw at the Isra campus that time?
No, it does not look anything like that. It's very abstract. Like it's not. It's mostly crystalline, like kind of comprised. It has like a light inside of it, but it's not like built out of light the way that the Isra statue was.
Gotcha. Mice is thoroughly enchanted by the appearance of it.
So do we just go knock on the door?
He's like, no. Like you see hold on, let me look this up real quick.
I have to let the doggo out. I'll be
Yeah,
right
go
back.
ahead, take care of it. We'll be going on
Me
a break.
too. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna go on a break real quick. Actually, let's go ahead and let's take our break since people have to do stuff, and we will be right back, guys. Welcome back to Simulacra Studios presents Trinity, Continuum, Aeon, Luna Rocks. Hi, everybody. When last we left our punks in the moon, they were in a video game. They were at the lip of a great ravine across which a drawbridge is a grand crystalline citadel in which dwells the presence. And they were speaking with their Cheruvian-bodied guide, named Emmanuel, and she sort of indicated across the drawbridge. And coming your way, you see sort of dressed in these like sort of ephemeral robes. You see a tall praying mantisoid kind of humanoid figure chittering its way across the bridge, kind of making its way slowly but surely over to you. And it's like it moves a little bit, it kind of bows its head a little bit, it brings up its little mantis prayer arms, and just sort of like very kind of like it's kind of like it's in its own little procession, like it's following whatever little rules are of this ritual that it's enacting. As it requires itself to make it come your way, and so it's making its way up to you. What are you guys doing?
I guess I will step forward to greet it when it comes a little closer to us on this side of the bridge. I will have one hand on my machete just in case.
Okay.
Sensible.
What about Bram? What is Rockman doing? You are muted.
He is just still kind of in awe of everything. So he's gonna let Hannah take point and just kind of be looking around, just like the mantis is the most amazing thing until he turns like his head a little bit,
Mhm.
and then he sees something else.
Nice. What about
Frankie's just staring at it. Like she's just waiting.
Massilian?
Yeah, Mice is gonna let Hannah take point as well, but is also gonna try to use electrokinetic sight on, I guess, the Citadel, like any and all spectra that are kind of around, and just see what happens when they do that.
Okay. I'm going to give me a psi plus your highest electrokinesis mode for spectrum sight. There is going to be a 3-point complication on this roll.
That is a botch, in fact.
Oh, as a botch. Okay, then. So you try and open up your senses, and you are having a lot of difficulty doing so. Because your mind is in a type of altered state that it's never been in. And while mycelium is pretty good at altered states, this seems to be a type of altered state through which the consciousness that psi requires is not very compatible. And like you're trying really hard, you're trying to access that part of your mind, you're trying to do some internal mental gymnastics, some tinkering with your own consciousness, and like you're focusing on the citadel, and a lot of nothing is happening. And it just seems to be really it is a long struggle. The rest of you notice the pile of masks and robes that wait, I don't know. No,
That's
you
the other one.
it's the other one. Yeah. The bird person.
Fish person.
The fish person. God, there's so many different cool options. Yeah, the fish person is like their arms are going limp, and like there's a little bit of like lolling of the head. That something's not right with
I imagine it's kind of like when you hold a microphone near a speaker and cause feedback, but with the eyes.
kind of, yeah. Like
Nice winces.
so,
I see. All right.
Frankie like walks over and like pokes him in his forehead.
Just get. I'm good. I'm good. Just. Yeah. Oh, that was weird. I mean,
You don't look good.
new experiences are always exciting, but sometimes they're weird and painful. I'm gonna get that on my crest if I ever have a crest.
mhm.
I think we could probably make you a crest.
It's about
Crafting
this
options.
time that the mantoid makes its way across the drawbridge right up to you, and says, "Greetings! I am the messenger of the presence. Welcome, four souls of the outside. You have come to show your worthiness to the presence."
Reckon we have.
Excellent. Good, good. Your coming was foretold.
So, how do we prove this? How do we prove our worthiness, like you say?
Fear not, for a quest lies before you. You must go to the flow. You must go and seek the one who will guide your path through that strange place.
Does he point in a direction when he says go to the flow?
He kind of indicates a thing. Emmanuel goes, "Yeah, that's another place in Synesthesia. It's kind of in Synestia. It's kind of a newbie zone."
Well, we are newbies.
She's like, it's cool, and she brings out like a little flute and starts playing it, and a airship descends through the overcast sides. Like, we've had a lot of time to get some really cool shit. And she says, that'll take you where you need to go. Once you start, you'll kind of be in your own instance, so there's not much we can do to help you. You're kind of going to be on your own. But we can get you there.
That is much appreciated. All right, well, I guess tell the presence we're on our way, Mr. the Messenger.
He's like,
Thanks,
the
Emmanuel.
presence knows. The presence knows all.
Oh my god. I climb on the airship.
Well, that's unsettling.
Is it? Goofy, I'll give you. As soon as I'm on the airship and not directly in the thing's sight.
Right. All right then. Sure. Okay. Airship. All right. She just like gets on and she just like finds a place to sit down and she's like looking around like, all right, cool. Like, as Frankie's in here, she's clearly starting to relax, but she still has all the airs of, I'm so done with this already.
Mm-hmm.
But she's slowly starting to relax.
Bram is like tinkering with all the little interactables,
Mm-hmm.
like the icon appears where you can like lean over the side and do a little like cutscene where you look over and
Mhm.
like the world below passes by, or like like there's skyfish off on the distance, how you can like throw bread at them. There's another little interactable. He just does them all.
Yeah.
I join you. Yeah, Hannah's like, could not be more at home. Loves this place immediately.
Yeah, there's some never-ending story shit, like as like the thing goes through the sky, and like there's
I wonder if this game has pets in it.
um like when you say that, a little bird cat thing kind of like hops its way across this thing, and you see a little thing. Pets, you can buy your pet for 50 gold.
All right, guys, we have to earn some gold on this quest as well as meeting the presents.
Well, it's nice that you have your priorities in order.
I'm gonna get me a little digital pet.
But yeah, like as the thing goes by, like lots of little things do happen. Like there's lots of little interactables, and many of them, like you can like see, you get like little like tinkling bells that happen every now and then, where you see like potential quests are being offered to you, like missions, lore drops, like 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 you occasionally get like the chimes that say you have a message from like your long lost sister has found like it is the system is starting to offer you all any and all kind of experiences that you might want to engage in.
Oh, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be engaging in some of these.
Mice is just kind of switching camera angles.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But eventually, the airship does make its way into the sort of lowlands, wetlands area where there's a lot of rivers and waterfalls and lake areas. It's a very lowland, wetlands type area with like towering trees and whatnot. And as you are coming over, you see like there's all sorts of little villages and encampments and places where like all sorts of like low level, low stakes little environments where all sorts of nonsense is getting started up. Like you see bands of adventurers putting big packs on their backs as they start marching off into the distance. There's
And
the
at least one of those bands is probably a bunch of little mice in hats.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, there's all sorts of nonsense going on here. It screams newbie area. Um, but like you all when you land, there is kind of a one of those chimes that shows up simultaneously across all of you, and it's the quest for worth, except.
Well, I'm not lying about the premise, but yeah, except.
Okay, so now we are going to start our first quest. This thing goes in phases. So if you all want to take a look at the aspects that you have, some of them might have something that says the rules of them might mention a phase. We are in phase 1, where you are essentially looking for your quest giver. Um, so if anyone has any phase 1 abilities that they'd like to embark in. But yeah, you are basically the setup is you are in this like kind of freewheeling, low level place where all sorts of little adventures are going off of, and you are told to look for the one who will guide your way. So you're looking for some sort of mysterious figure who knows where you need to go. So if anyone has any phase 1 abilities they'd like to use right now, let me know.
All my abilities are
looking.
phase 2 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Hang on, I'm still looking.
I don't think mine are applicable. They're kind of just stuff that happens situationally rather than by phase.
Okay. Noted.
Sorry, I'm trying to look up the aspects real quick.
I can breathe underwater though, so that's something.
That is something. All right. So, let's go ahead and start. The way this works is that you all have a difficulty that you're trying to hit. And so you are building up successes.
Wait,
mhm.
I have Power Broker. That is phase 1.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What does it do?
So, the anima may spend gold for enhancement on a persuasion action, even if the NPC would not normally accept gold as a bribe. And it says it's quest phase 1 or 4.
Okay, noted. Okay. Well, let's see. How much does it mention how if you guys start with any gold?
I didn't see it in the starting equipment, but maybe it's somewhere else.
A manual would have thrown you a little packet of gold, like 10 gold.
Okay.
Which is like
Or
this will
for
help
all of
out.
us who split.
Yeah.
Only 10? They must have infinite by this point.
I can only buy a fifth of a pet so far.
Ah.
Yeah.
Better be
So
the front fifth.
So like I said, you guys have a difficulty that you're trying to hit. You're all collectively trying to gather up the successes for that. There is going to be, we'll say there's also a level 1 complication on this phase of the gift of a misleading quest giver, basically someone who might try and lure you into another quest that isn't exactly what you're looking for. So each of you is going to make a roll using one of your skills. So who would like to pitch their first roll as to what they're trying to do?
I have the skill lore,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to roll to understand the kind of the lore of this place, like how being what kind of lore would there be around something that calls itself the presence that what kind of quest would there be to prove your worth to that sort of thing?
Okay, yeah, go ahead and
So-
make a roll. And what approach would you like to roll with that?
Finesse.
Okay, yeah. So you're being a little sly. You're being a little asking subtle questions, looking for subtle signs.
Yeah, exactly. I got 1 success.
Okay. So would you like to put that towards the difficulty, or would you like to buy off that complication?
I would like to buy off that complication.
Okay. So yeah, you absolutely are able to buy off the complication. So you spot a shiesty quest giver and be like, not that guy.
No.
Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll try persuasion
Okay.
and finesse.
Are you going to throw some gold behind it, like throw some money around using your power broker ability?
Yes, I am. I will throw 2 gold behind it.
Okay.
So that gives me, I think, 2 enhancement.
Yes.
And would bartering, command, convincing, or misdirection apply? Because I have specialty. I have focuses in all of them.
I would say bartering would. What were the other ones?
Command, convince, or misdirect.
I would say one of the other ones would, depending on how you're going about this.
Let me do bartering then.
Okay. Well, you can use bartering because you're doing that, and then you could use another one, but choose which one because it'll lock you out.
Convince.
Okay.
So those are just extra dice.
No, those are enhancement.
Okay. So I'm rolling 7 dice, 4 for persuasion, 2 for finesse. Sorry. So 6 dice.
Very charismatic rock person.
I am. I'm a very convincing rock. And I'm spending 2 gold, and I've got 2 enhancement already. So that's 4 enhancement total. So, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 successes plus a 10. Do 10s explode?
They do.
5. So 4 successes plus 4 enhancement is total 8.
You absolutely find the right guy. like you guys start asking around, and you eventually you throw some money in the right direction, and you get pointed in the direction of a little hut off of a stream down the way. It says like, yeah, there's a guy that's been talking about the presence. You need to go talk to that guy. And you have succeeded phase 1 of the quest. So yeah, you guys head over to that hut, and you find a Veer, who is dressed in those sort of similar robes, who is like burning some strange incense. And like the moment that you come into the door, it says, the four penitents have come, I see, as I have seen in my visions. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Greetings, yes. You seek the way, you seek the path to worthiness, yes?
Yes.
Yes. You must go deeper into the flow. I will show you the way.
Is there anything we should know that you can tell us before we go deeper into the flow?
It says, no, I can only point in the way. You must show your worth through your own initiative.
Fair enough. Lead on.
He says, come, and he goes out like side of his hut and says, he motions you onto his little bridge, his little boat that leads down the stream, and says, this is the way, come to my boat.
I get on the boat.
An aspect for this.
So now we are on phase 2. This is another thing. So does anyone have any phase 2 powers that they can bring to bear?
Absolutely.
I don't think either of mine.
So, Waterborne phase 2 is automatically succeed on the quest action if it involves passing through or within water. Otherwise, remove any complications on the action that involve traversing water, such as sailing or crossing a river.
So your okay, your like innate character knowledge comes on board of like, I got this, and you are able to just straight up succeed on this aspect of the quest. Like you instinctively know, like all these little tool tips start popping up of like, yeah, you need to go on this branch of the river, avoid this, go around this because there'll be some Gugas who will try and bite at the bottom of your boat. Like, you know it all.
I'd like to suggest a cut scene of Mike's anima. I do have a name for the anima. The anima is named Zivi. Of standing on the prow, like with the wind whipping and their tentacles flapping in the wind. This way, my friend.
Absolutely.
Look at that valiant fish.
Okay, so yeah, eventually you guys come. The boat passes through a waterfall into a cave, and your Veer guide says, "I cannot come with you. You have found the test of worthiness. Please, may the presence guide you to your destination."
Thank you, bird person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like 50% of his vocabulary is just different ways to say yes in his language. They're all different words.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you guys enter into this strange, dark cave where there is a large pool of glowing water. And once you take a few steps into it, there is a burbling from the cave, and this terrible, like, protoplasmic squid thing rises up as the boss arrives. So
I make a quick wisecrack. I interact with the quick wisecrack.
Mhm.
Hey, that's a cousin of yours. I say that to Mike.
Probably.
Okay, so this is another phase. If anyone has any phase 3 abilities to bring online.
I have 3. Um,
Okay.
Sorry, all of mine are 2 or 3, so they didn't trigger in 2. Um, Funnily enough, one of them says quest phase 2 or 3, but doesn't actually state what it does.
What does the like the effect
The
say?
effect is as an ordinary action, the anima grants himself the shielded condition.
Okay. So yeah, you can take an action to grant yourself the shielded condition.
And then I basically have taunt and unbreakable wall. One of them says change the result of a failed complication from a condition or death to damage.
Okay.
And unbreakable wall is take the consequence of a failed complication that would cause damage to an ally.
Noted. Okay, so this is still the quest mechanic, so you guys are going to be rolling to try and overcome a shared difficulty. There is going to be a 2-point complication on every roll. So this isn't a share, like it's an area complication of you have to buy it off or your characters are going to take damage.
Got it.
I would like to use one of my aspects.
Okay.
Camouflage, which is a phase 2 or 3. I become invisible for a number of rounds equal to my stealth skill rating. My rating is 2. And the quest phase says when making a combat action during the phase, reduce a complication that would deal damage to the character by the number of rounds she would have invisibility.
Noted. Okay. So, yeah, you guys are attacking this. So this is going to be based off your physical attack, magic attack, are going to be the main things that you're going to want to roll here. But other kind of abilities will come into play as necessary. So, yeah, you guys have a big old monster that you guys need to kill. Who wants to take the first whack at it?
I also have a quest.
Okay.
Another phase 3 thing. So I have infuse ether. So I can roll Arcana plus Force and spend successes to grant allies the encouraged condition.
Okay.
Which apparently gives a +1 enhancement, I think.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and make that roll as your first action.
Yes. Although I think it's only 2 successes. I think it's 2 successes per ally, so probably won't be everybody. One person. I'll give it to the stone man.
Okay.
Okay.
My question, Scott, is that my character is built mostly for defense, not so much for attacking. Is there a way that I don't know how that works in the quest system where I would be like doing defense maneuvers for the rest of the group to kind of like negate damage?
So that your aspects are those actions, like the ones that are key to the different phases. So
Okay.
like yes, but that all of that stuff is already online for you.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
because you have things that mitigate damage and whatnot. That's how that's done.
Then what is block the skill for then?
Block the skill. I mean, you could roll that as well. Let's see. That's for it's mainly for non-quest combat because there's two different types of combat. Like there's like
Okay.
actual combat where you roll that to increase your defense.
Okay, gotcha.
But you could, yeah, there's a lot of creativity that you can apply in this. But yeah, but you also have to have collectively overcome the difficulty that is this boss monster. So some people are gonna have to attack it.
I'm gonna attack it.
Okay, do it.
All right, take out my machete and take a whack at this guy.
Right behind you.
Yes. Oh my God, that's 3 10s in a row.
Woohoo!
All right, last one was not a 10 though. Okay, so that is 2, 4. So yeah, that is the 3 successes plus 4 enhancements, so 7 total.
Okay, 7 total. Would you like to spend 2 of them to buy off the complication?
Yes.
Okay, so you put 5 damage of hurt into this monster. It is a mighty attack that gets levied your way. that levied its way, and it does not like that.
All right.
So who wants to make who wants to make the next action?
I will make an attack roll.
Okay.
I've got 3 enhancement from my weapon. I've got 1 enhancement from totally not my fish bard, and I'm rolling. And I've got 1 enhancement from my melee skill
Cool.
specialty. So I've got 5 enhancement rolling on 4 dice. Oh, thank God, 1 to 10. So that's 1 success and 1 success plus 4. 5. 6 successes total.
Okay. Do you? And yeah, you absolutely are able to buy off the complication if you so desire. But you also have that thing that lets you do that thing. So yeah, good times. So yeah, you absolutely lay into it, cutting it nearly in twain. It is.
Oh, I will say for flavor purposes, Jotun's enhanced weapon are runic carvings on his knuckles
Nice.
that make his punches better.
Okay, so yeah, you pummel into it, and burst its protoplasmic stacks. It's pretty nasty, but it is still twitching slightly.
Can Zeus the fishman get an attack in?
Absolutely, you can.
So I want to do a magic attack actually, and fire a beam of energy or something.
Okay.
So I suppose that's Arcana plus, or magic attack plus something.
Yeah, plus one of your approaches.
Would finesse be doable?
Sure.
All right.
Excuse me.
I'm also going to use the
Bless you.
enhanced focus, which is this iridescent orb that looks kind of like a very durable soap bubble to focus the magic. And cool. So I got 2 successes, and with the waterborne aspect, there's a stunt that if you get 2 successes with a magic attack, it's a blast of water that knocks your foe prone. So
Yeah. So you get 2 successes. Did you have any enhancement on that roll?
Yeah, two enhancement from the focus.
Okay, so 2 enhancement from the focus. So you can. That will be enough to take it out if you don't want to buy off the complication. But I believe Frankie has an ability that can just straight up mitigate that complication damage.
Yeah, let's teamwork that.
Cool.
So yeah,
Teamwork
you send a blast of freezing water right through its protoplasmic heart. It sends like these little pseudopod things out at you, but Frankie meets it with her Joan of Arc shield, and it splashes off harmlessly. And
but it is for your own good.
and the creature is felled. And that is the end of phase 3.
Totally uncopyrightable victory music.
Yes.
Poses.
So the Veer comes in with its robes and says, "You have done well. Yes, your valor has been shown." And it indicates like some of the goo. "Go now, seek inside the remains of the beast, and you will find the parapets of worthiness."
Ew.
That sounds like a
Okey-dokey.
job for Frankie. No. Like one giant hand holds you back. Frankie, you gotta contribute.
What do you mean? I just stopped them from taking damage.
It's true. That was a
Go.
contribution.
Come on, let's. We have been having fun this whole time. You've been sitting here being a sourpuss. Come on.
Mice is just gonna go for it.
All right.
While they have a stare down.
Yeah, you get in, you wade in, and you find these 4 little like kind of diadems that have like shimmering crystalline gems on them.
It takes a fish person to dig through a fish person's remains.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Good work.
Thanks. Here, I got you this. Distributes diadems.
I will use it
Thank
as a
you.
hat band.
Can
I
put it on as like a pinky ring?
before I put it on, I'm actually gonna ask if I can do the lore again to know if this is the right thing.
Sure, absolutely, you can do that. As we are in we are in turn-in quest mode.
Okay. 2 successes.
Yeah, these things, like, you recognize the sort of the shimmering quality of the crystalline nature. These definitely seem to be the right stuff.
Looks like you found it.
It says, "Now you are worthy to enter into the citadel of the present."
Okay.
That's very exciting. Will you show us the way?
He's like, yes, I will return you to your vessel.
Thank you.
And you just hop in the little boat again and come back down the stream to where you have your waiting airship. And you have completed your quest.
Hooray!
Victory song. Yeah, it crosses off the quest log.
I really want
Is
to
it
see what
an
my long lost
actual
sister has to
log,
say.
I mean, do you bring up the quest?
So, so Scott,
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have the ability to use my rewritey powers
You do.
here in this place. Um, and Frankie is incensed that she was told she wasn't contributing. So I would like to find a bag of gold,
Okay.
like just like literally just like randomly, like those random, like, oh, you found a loot chest, randomly in the world. Like Frankie wants to find one of those. I want to use one of my abilities
Okay.
uh and find one of these that gets the party like 100 gold pieces, basically enough so Murphy can buy her animal.
Absolutely. You look around, you press shift to highlight interactable objects, and suddenly there's like a chest, by the waterfall.
Yeah, she goes, hold on a moment, and like walks over, and you see her reach down into the water and open this chest and pull out a sack of money, and then goes, here you go, and walks over specifically to Hannah and hands it to her.
I am definitely gonna get a cat that's also a dragon.
Um,
His name
And
will
she
be
sticks her
Mucifer, and it will
tongue
be my
out at
best friend
Bram.
forever. Thank you.
You're welcome. And she just sticks her tongue out at Bram. She goes, yeah, I'm not helpful.
Well, now you are. Thank you.
Frankie, I need you to roll integrity for me, please. Your actual integrity.
Sure. All right. I have that. I will roll that with my stamina,
Okay.
because that by itself is not a great roll. Hercules don't eat the dice. They're not for doggos. 1, 2. Okay, so I have a 10. 3 successes.
As you are consciously manipulating the system, using you see a little exploit that you can use to create this chest. Like somewhere disconnected from your experience here, you feel a chill go up your actual spine.
Huh.
As you as you are manipulating this space, you feel intensely regarded.
It's the present.
Oh, someone's looking at me. And
Uh,
she just kind of looks around. She's like, well, hello again.
and
I
you
think.
kind of it's kind of strange. It's just a thought that comes into your head, and you realize that the point of this was to get you engaged enough into the system that it could read you all on a deep level, and get a measure of you in a way that it was too exposed to do so earlier.
It's fine.
Its version of small talk, if you will.
Basically, yeah. It was an icebreaker. Um,
Yeah, this is Frankie's icebreaker. Frankie's like, yeah, I'm gonna help my friends out, and I'm gonna be spiteful about it.
um, but
Here, I
but yeah,
got this for you.
but yeah, you get on the thing. Hannah, you're able to bring up like the little quest thing that was like, hey, if you want to buy a pet, and it's like send a message to this with enclosed 50 gold.
I do so.
Yeah, you engage in the message system and like the online commerce system, and within a moment, a cat dragon swoops in
Yes!
from the sky and like
Lucifer!
curls up on your shoulder, like puffing a little bit of smoke, uh, into your hair.
Aw,
Dorbs.
don't worry, kitty, I'll protect you. Get in my satchel if anything bad happens.
But yeah, so yeah, the travel animation begins to play again as the airship swoops through the skies. Turn around, look at what you see. And eventually, you guys are deposited back at the Citadel of the Presence.
Is the mantis being still here?
Oh yes, the mantis being is still there. It's like clambering and kind of chittering its little mandibles, and like rubbing its little prayer arms together, and says, "Ah, yes, I see. You have the diadems of worth."
Indeed. So, what now?
And says, "Now you must follow me, and so you will come into the presence of the presence."
Thank you.
And it leads you back over across the drawbridge, stopping every couple of feet to propitiate a statue or do a gesture with its mandibles. It's very slow and meticulous, and as you guys are getting closer and closer, like you're seeing more and more detail starting to get rendered in. And eventually you come to this sort of like shimmering barrier that leads into the inside of the citadel. That like a light shines out from it, like lingers on the diadems, and like the gems glow, and you are able to pass through the barrier.
I love how dramatic this place
So
is.
I have to ask, is mine a little dimmer than theirs?
No, it's actually fine.
Okay.
Um. And as you guys come to inside, um, this is mostly a large open area that towers up into the citadel, and near the center of it, there's sort of this raised dais with a very familiar-looking pool of water that has like lights and music surrounding it. Like incredibly familiar to you, Hannah.
Huh. Not what I was expecting, as I take a shoe off and slip my foot in.
And that sensation that you, when you're dipping into the flow of the totality, starts to come over you in a very strange, kind of disconnected way.
Why are you putting your foot in that?
Don't you want to? It's I kind of just like shut my
No?
eyes and lean into the sensation of moving through the water and being part of the flow of the totality.
I mean,
And
I'm
like,
all for it.
yeah, as you get deeper into it, that disconnection fades and it becomes feeling more and more real. But there is a hesitance, like it is waiting to bring you fully into the plunge.
Y'all joining me or what?
Well, what's it like?
It's very pleasant, but feels like we're waiting on something for this to be the full experience.
Mice dives in and breathes the water.
I'll like put one giant foot down in the pool.
Frankie, your crankiness isn't going to protect you from the fun. Come on.
She just like walks over and she just puts her hand in, like, okay, put my hand in everything else. Might as well put it in this too.
Good words to live by.
As soon as all of you are touching the water, I need everyone to make an empathy roll for me, please.
Yes.
Actual empathy.
Actual, your personal empathy.
Does group dynamics apply at all to this?
Yes. Wait, is that your empathy specialty?
Yeah.
Yeah, then specialties apply cross skills. They do not apply to the skill that they come
Does
Does
from.
it count as a
lies.
lock?
No.
Okay.
How about lies?
No.
Okay.
2 successes for me. 1 enhancement.
Can you double botch?
No.
Okay, I botch.
Okay. 2. All right.
You're so cranky.
So, what happens is once everyone is sort of touching the thing, the water kind of explodes up and out, and then pulls back into the pool, bringing you all inside. And Frankie, this immediately triggers like a terror response in you. Like this is exactly what this is the worst case scenario. But you're still overwhelmed by it. Everyone who succeeded, it's very strange, it's very overwhelming. And when I begin to describe what's you're actually experiencing, that'll become clear. But you realize like the last like cogent thought that you're able to marshal for like a good long while is that this is being done out of a desperate need to be understood. And you're all brought into an experience of time and space that outstrips anything any of you have ever touched. You see the galaxy. And in a breath, millions of years go like you travel millions of years into the past. And then the breath out brings you a million years back to the present. And you see the shifting of stars, the changing of things. You see energy flowing, exploding and changing throughout the galaxy, throughout this millions and millions of years time span that is happening literally every breath in and breath out.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can very much see that. Like how like the galaxy rotates and like gas is collapsing and birthing new stars. But I want to try and reach out to Frankie and like help her weather this storm. And I want to try and push my psionics to do so.
Okay. Make me a psi plus Tyus telepathy roll.
Okay. May I take some momentum for this team?
Yeah, go for it. We haven't used any.
Yeah, we should have a ton since I just botched.
Yeah, you did just
How
botch.
much?
And
Yeah,
I
got a
botched
couple of
also
botches.
earlier. So we have at least 4.
Yeah, we haven't been
Can
doing
I
it.
use 4?
Yeah,
I don't think we've used any momentum.
not this
Not
time.
We haven't.
No.
So I think we have 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll use 4. Come on, baby. There we go. There's at least 1 success. That one was cocked. That's 2 successes, and that's a 10. 3. Okay, 3 successes, and we make sure that I've got favored aptitude. Does that give me an enhancement?
It does.
Okay.
Well,
So 3 successes.
what is the aptitude that you are favored in? Is it your telepathy or your psychokinesis?
Oh, it's my telekinesis. Yeah.
Then yeah, that won't apply.
Okay. 3 successes.
Okay. So Frankie, you are in total information overload mode. given that you are not capable of like cogent communication, how does Bram's telepathic presence calm Frankie? Like, what does it feel like for in this timeless flow of space and time, Bram reaching out? How does that it succeeds, but I want to know how it happens.
Oh, so you want me to describe
I
what
want
would
I want
calm
I
Frankie
want
down?
both of you to explain it.
Okay.
From Bram's point of view, as just like a bodiless consciousness, it'll be like in keeping with the theme of the galaxy, it'll be like a protoplanetary nebula just settling around a star and like cloaking it and kind of giving it a boundary that it can understand that there is something beyond, but that it has a safe place within this Oort cloud that is me.
That works really well because what Frankie needs most in this moment is to not be in this moment. Giving her something to focus on that is not a constantly shifting, universal insight is exactly what she needs. So she doesn't have to see that. She can focus solely on Bram, even if that comes at the expense of not quite understanding the entity that's trying to communicate with her. She's okay with that. That's what the rest of you all are for. Currently, her own brain is doing damage control. So instead of focusing on the universe, she's focusing on Bram, and is taking that presence more as almost like sensory depth, basically. Phew.
Okay. Uh, how is Hannah engaging with this infinity of information?
Um, her first, like, I know we don't really have like a lot of like coherence right now, but like her first impulse is actually kind of towards empathy, because like the last thing I really knew was like you're trying to be understood. So her like kind of like thought insofar she has one is like, is this what it's like for you to whatever this creature is? But she's actually not really very much focused on her own existence in it as much as like just observing it as a whole and looking for patterns within what she's seeing in the chaos of time ebbing and flowing. Like,
You get when you push that out to it, like this questioning of like trying to understand it, what you kind of get back, uh, your senses are brought to hundreds of little moments where places in the galaxy get get dimmed or snuffed out somehow, and you get this immense feeling of shame and regret. Mice, how are you interacting with this cosmic flow?
If this isn't the best trip mice has ever experienced, it's definitely top 5. They are loving every second of it. They are riding comets. They're, diving into the heart of stars with the visions and everything. And if if there's any coherent thought that they can express to this entity, it's probably like, this is amazing. Keep giving me everything. Keep telling me everything. And I imagine that in fish form, they're probably like bioluminescing in ecstasy, and probably their unconscious body lying in the crawl space, like their hollow hands are probably flaring with like just sparks from the experience.
You feel like yes, all of that is true. But when you feel like a push back, you get jarred out of the cosmic experience. And you're on the surface of an alien world, uh, uh, as um, you see a rain of asteroids being flung down at accelerated mass speeds as it destroys, like they are each aimed at a city as millions upon millions of people die in a planetary bombardment, and then you're back into the cosmos.
When you say people,
Not humans.
okay.
Yeah, you get rocked by that. So what about Bram? Does Bram, having felt Frankie being contained, where do you go from there? Do you stay with Frankie or do you engage with the cosmos?
I want to like I do want to sort of probe the cosmos, but I don't want to do so at the expense of Frankie's calm.
Mm-hmm.
So
You think you have fairly successfully set up a containment around
okay.
Frankie. And
Okay.
like you get also like an experience of like that was your priority, and like you get a secondary like feeling of okay, we'll keep her safe.
Gotcha. Then I want to sort of embracing my go with the flow attitude. I want in this metaphor, I want the dust and gas that makes up my body, for lack of a better term, to just be sort of pulled along. I want it to show me like what it needs or how it expresses itself in like the eddies of gravity and the stellar winds buffeting me along the path. Where is it taking me? Where does it want to show me how to go?
You get sort of buffeted in this wide spiral along all around the galaxy, through patches of darkness, patches of places that are having their light snuffed out by some far-reaching force.
Do I get the sense that it is the same force in every place, snuffing out this light?
You feel that it is the result of a coordinated effort.
So whether or not the agent is necessarily the same, there is something pulling the strings behind it.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we at all? I mean, it seems like Bram was aware of Frankie. Are we all kind of aware of each other within this experience?
Would you like to focus your experience on finding the others?
Sure.
Okay. Who are you trying to find?
I think Hannah. Mostly, like not even to like speak, just to kind of share what I just saw.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Give me a Psi plus telepathy roll.
A 10. 3 successes.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to locate Hannah amongst the flow of time and space. And you don't have a lot of control, so you just kind of show her that.
If I can respond, I respond with the with what I saw of the or what I felt of the sense of like shame and sadness at the lights going out. But also seems very distracted. Like is barely Hannah right now. Is mostly focused on trying to understand what she's seeing. But does see that as putting something to put the pieces together.
Give me a Psi plus highest clairsentience roll, Hannah.
Yes. A bunch.
Uh-oh. Yeah. You try and tap into like understanding of the flow, and you get kind of sucked into an eddy around the supermassive black hole at the center. um, of just you feel like this rush of sympathetic terror and paranoia and a surety that that they will be found and destroyed.
I feel that myself, as well as I was going to ask if I could use my iatrosis to calm that.
Not with a botch.
Right.
Yeah, so you're having a bad time at the moment.
Okie dokie.
In your safe blanket of Oort Cloud Nebula, um, Frankie, you're beginning to feel calmer and calmer, um, more yourself than the rest of them. It seems that moment of like pure rejection uh, allowed you to cling to your identity a little bit more, and things are safe and calm. But you kind of feel the motion outside the cloud going on. How are you responding? How are you reacting to this?
Is it reaching out to me? Am I
Not.
muted?
I'm muted.
No, I'm not. Okay.
Okay,
I was
there you
making sure I wasn't.
go. No, that's fine. You're good. You feel like it definitely wants to communicate with you, but it is leaving you alone.
Okay. Um, now that she has a better understanding of what's going on and she's taken a moment to kind of orientate herself, then she will kind of shift and slowly kind of start to reach out. It's very intuitive. She doesn't really understand a lot of what's going on. She's kind of reaches back out, kind of
Okay.
like, okay, you want to talk? All right, we can talk now. Now that I'm not, freaking out.
Roll, please, for me your empathy plus intuitive facet.
Okay. Let me check my sheet.
Feel free to use some momentum.
Actually, intuitive is her main stat, so that's actually real good for her. But yes, I will use the momentum if you all are okay with that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Added one.
So I got my empathy, and I have a momentum. And momentum adds enhancement or dice?
It has enhanced. No, it adds dice. Sorry. Blah, blah.
Adds dice. All right, a die. Okay then. Well, that's at least 3 10s and a 9, so let me try
Nice.
that again. Okay, so that's a 9 and an 8 additional. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 successes.
Yeah, you understand what you need to do. Like you reach out and like you realize that you're gonna have to jump in, but you also are like in this point of like control and intuition that you realize that you can choose where and when in this time stream, space-time configuration where you jump in. So
Okay. She would prefer to jump in towards the present, because that's where Frankie usually focuses at. So she's trying to focus jumping in towards the present, and then kind of uh she doesn't really understand what we're trying to get from this thing, so she's like, I'm here, what do you want to show me?
you jump in, and I'm letting your roll ride on this, and you jump sort of as close to the present as you can, jumping literally into the stream of time and space. And you see for a moment you see what you believe to be a place on the moon, like a lunar cave. You see 8 figures who you recognize as younger versions of the 8 psi order, proxies of the psi orders. And before them, 3 balls of protoplasmic light sort of shining down on them, and then you're caught up into the current, and you're in the flow. Bram, you feel your charge settle down, so you're and jump in, so your focus is fully freed up, if you so desire to more fully engage.
I want to try and get an understanding of what this creature needs from us. Like, we've seen, I think, bits and pieces of maybe it's like formative years, or at least like an idea of maybe what it's fighting against, or maybe even what it has done. I don't know, but what does it want us to do to help it? How can we help it? Or does it even want our help?
I'm gonna need an Enigmas roll.
Okay. Raw cunning. Would this count as a lock?
Yeah, we'll say it counts as a lock.
Okay. So raw cunning with whatever enhancement locks gives me. 110. Rerolling. That's cocked. Another 10. That's 2 successes. All right. 2 successes plus enhancement from my specialty locks.
You feel its certainty that it will be destroyed. That its own kind will find it and destroy it. And the only way out that it can imagine is if the truth of what their people are is exposed. If they can be brought into the light, then maybe it has a chance at living.
Can I tell from what we have learned what their people are?
It's still too much. Like, yeah, there's still way too much to kind of take in. You only
Right.
get that sort of like its obsession, its surety of its own destruction, and its surety that there's only one way out of this situation that it's in.
Which is to bring to light some sort of, is it history or is it a single thing?
You get the sensation, given the breadth of time, yes, history, but history, the things that have been done over the history need, like, there's so much, like, there's a lot that needs to be exposed and uncovered and understood, and it needs to it realizes that in order to get any kind of help, it needs to be understood before it can help you understand.
Okay.
Mycelian. So you have found Hannah, shared that information, and then felt Hannah kind of get ripped away from you in a riptide, off to somewhere else in the galaxy. What are you doing now?
I don't know if it's possible to do both things at once, but I simultaneously want to express to this entity, like, no, I need my friend back, you know? But I also want to try and find Bram somewhere in this morass.
You think you're gonna have to pick.
I'll try to find Bram.
Okay. Make me a Psi plus telepathy roll.
Permission to use momentum?
I'm good with it.
I'm going to use 2, if that's cool. I got really lucky last time. All right, awesome. That is 3 successes.
Yeah, you are able to navigate and you find the point in space and time where Bram is kind of cycling through a eddy in the current of the galaxy. And what would you like to convey to Bram?
Like basically just like let's stick together, like, you know, let's try to all find each other and like stick together through this.
Okay. Yeah, that gets conveyed to Bram. Hannah, you are spiraling the drain of the galaxy. How are you doing this?
I am actually, as much as terror and stuff as I'm experiencing, knowing that it's still that like the whole reason we're here is it's trying to make itself understood. I'm going to try to actually like lean into that, like, and empathize with what I feel of like this fear of being hunted or found, and just like kind of exist with that with it.
Okay. Give me an empathy roll.
And I'm on empathy composure. Okay, good. Jesus. That is 2 successes.
Yeah, you sort of relate your own experiences of you're sort of like the closest thing to your own similar experiences of being terrified and not being in control of your existence, and that sort of puts you back on more of a current away from the big blackness at the center and back into the flow. It seems to like pluck you and guide you back out away from that terror. And it sort of mirroring sort of your own experiences. It pushes you so that you re-enter into an orbit around the solar system, like what you recognize as Sol and the planets that surround it.
Never thought seeing the whole solar system would be a relief, but it is.
Okay, Frankie. What are so now that you're in the flow of it and you've seen that image of what you think are the proxies, what are you trying to do now?
To make sure I understood what I just saw, I saw the proxy standing in front of 3 of these beings of light.
Mm-hmm.
Can I spend hard spend a momentum and and use my power of connecting the dots?
You absolutely can.
I would like to do that and make an Enigmas roll to try to puzzle out what's going on. What's basically because Frankie has a feeling like because Diane kind of is on the grasp of understanding it, but Frankie
Okay.
would put the pieces together.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
cool. I'm going to do that. There's my dice. Okay. I thought the cat ran off with my dice for a moment. I was about to be very sad.
Those are mine now.
I'm like, those are mine. Those are actually mine.
Hide them under the deepest cushion.
So get my enigmas.
Maybe the
It's a
cat
lot.
has their own role-playing game to get to.
Well, they can deal. And I will use my intellect. All right. Okay. There's 3 successes and a 10. 3 successes.
Okay. Tell me what Diane is thinking.
Diane is thinking, since this was nearer to the present, she's kind of envisioning this might be how do I put this? How the kind of how they came to unlock not syads but psionics for other people.
Yeah. Yeah, you piece that together. This is the benefactors. These are where the proxies got their powers. These are the aliens who brought unlocked psi potential for the proxies, and then through them the psi orders. And you understand in this moment that was not an act of altruism. That was an act of control.
Which would make sense as why, when I put together with the benefactors before, that the crystalline entities also have one of these creatures that is being either working with or being used by, which is how they unlocked and got all their teleportation stuff very quickly. Is that the power there's a creature behind them, which is, can she suss it out that this is probably an act of retaliation for them taking these three entities and forcing them to do this in the first place?
Oh no, I will say you definitely got this wrong. That
Okay.
the control was not on the part of the proxies.
Oh.
No. These, like, you're sort of seeing like the flow of time and like, oh no, these creatures are millions upon millions of years old. And they've been doing this for a very long time. And we're just the next in a series. Bram.
Noted.
So you and Blyce have found each other. What is your next course of action?
Keeping up the metaphor, I will sort of whatever celestial object I perceive mice to be, I sort of get caught up in their gravity, and we just sort of travel together.
Mm-hmm.
They communicated that they wanted me to stick with them, and so I'll just sort of let our gravity commingle.
Okay.
But I want to, if possible, I would like to use the back and forward motion of this to sort of tilt our orbital plane such that mice sees what I have seen,
Okay.
like in the journey through, so that they can see like the thing. There is something with like strings that is, manipulating things across millions of years. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make a psi plus telepathy roll.
I can do that. Psi and telepathy. That is a failure, but not a botch.
Okay. Yeah. You're able to stay together, but you are unable to find like a kind of simpatico with mice. Speaking of which, Mycelian, what's up?
Did my information still get through to Bram though?
Yeah. I mean the information. Well,
Okay.
Wait, what information?
About seeing the asteroids.
I don't think you conveyed that. I will say that that didn't get through.
Okay.
Unless you would like to attempt to do that, or whatever else you might want to attempt to do.
I think at this point now that the two of us, I'm kind of like, keep Bram in sight. Don't let Bram, float away or whatever. And I now want to try to express to the entity like we need to be together for all of us to be able to process all of this.
Okay. Make me a psi telepathy roll.
2 successes.
Okay. You express that, and you sort of feel an acknowledgement, and all of you sort of feel caught up and collected, and you are brought you and Bram are brought a fairly great distance. Frankie, it's not so much for you, but you're all brought to where Hannah is, where you see the solar system and the Earth, and it sort of holds you there for a moment, so that you see the Earth in this breathe in, breathe out time dilation flow, and you see it go back and forward, and then you see like thousands of years ago, like there are like little pops of light and dynamic energy flows, and then thousands of years pass until about 300 years ago, in the 1800s, you see this wild, snarling, twisting expression of energy, that then it dies out, but it also gets rewound up, like things are getting reversed. And then 100 years after that, there is this massive explosion of energy that covers the entire planet, vitalizing it, opening it up, and there are these other smaller little pops all around, and then that dies down a little bit, and then you see this blanketing cloud of dark energy encompass the Earth, and totally shut down all of that light. And then about another 100 years pass, and there is a blinding spike that shatters through that cloud, and the world explodes once again, in like this high, intense energy that covers it and changes it before becoming vitriolic and explosive, and it starts to burn the world, until eventually that dies down as like sparks of energy flee the world, and then a second cloud of darkness descends upon the planet, covering it up again, until about little less than 100 years ago, that darkness gets pushed away, and this more calming, harmonious light starts to flow around the planet. And then you reach the wall of the present, and then it starts to flow backwards, and you see this drama of energy and light and change play out breath by breath. And the four of you are here together and acknowledge one another, and your identities coalesce to the point where you can actively communicate with one another.
Guys, I think I'm a comet.
Frankie goes, "You all need to know this," and Frankie is going to, if she can show them, she will show them. If not, she will tell them what she saw and what she extrapolated from it.
Yeah. Like if one of our telepaths would like to establish a mind link, you can easily do so, and start sharing thoughts and imagery. You're muted, by
Come
the way,
on,
Meg.
sir. Come on. Come on.
One success.
That's enough.
Jump.
So yeah, you guys are able to like start sharing all of the stuff that you've seen.
So
You just hear me go,
from
so scared.
puppy.
Sorry. He was struggling to get up. He's an old man. He turned 11 yesterday.
Oh.
Aww.
Happy birthday, Popper.
Little old man.
So to recap, we have seen the proxies speaking with entities that are similar to the one that we are in contact with now.
Yes.
We see this energy flowing and sparking and being dampened and then bursting forward throughout the history of Earth for the last 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen this darkness draining the light from places all over the galaxy over the course of millions of years. And what else have we seen?
Asteroids destroying cities.
Oh yes, like actually like just kinetic bombardment destroying, like genociding planets.
You all do realize that what that meant, right?
So
That we're being farmed somehow with like with psi powers. I no. I just know that this is a refugee
I don't know about
That is
farmed, but
or
it seems
controlled or
like yeah.
those proxies. That was not that it was not the proxies in control. It was them in
Yeah.
control.
no. I got that.
As
I'm
a
not
way to maybe stop. I mean, what happened to Hannah? What happened to Bram? What happened to me? If that's like what's supposed to happen, and these balls of light are showing up and stopping it from happening by
Making it a
creatures,
mechanized process instead of something that just happens naturally.
and maybe they're doing it because at some point in the past it did happen naturally, and their culture got decimated or something.
Or they just don't like what, because I remember one of the things Marty said about us or me specifically when they were connected and kind of saw our way firsthand. They said we could do lots of different things that they can't. That
Yeah.
actual normal psi users, people who've gone through the chamber, are siloed. Maybe they did this to keep people siloed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Stunt the growth.
well.
But I
I
still
mean,
think whatever we're dealing with is a refugee from them.
also, I mean, it goes back to what I thought when it comes to the crystalline entities and how they're able to basically react so quickly and why they're able to do things so fastly is I thought it was one of the benefactors. We are literally talking to one of the benefactors.
So it would seem.
And when you look at what's happening with the Earth there, it's like, look at how many times this has happened. It's like a cycle.
I guess maybe humanity was supposed to figure this out on their own, or they were afraid humanity would do like we did on its own. Huh.
Kick it.
So like this energy, this light it's something that we're supposed to have, or it's something that we're learning to harness, but do they keep smothering it?
I mean,
Containing it, maybe.
maybe.
Also,
I actually like kind of like out from the group, just like in the way that I was trying to empathize or talk to this whatever this thing is we're inside right now, is be like, is is that what's happening? Is our light being smothered on purpose?
Everyone make me an empathy roll.
okie dokie. Not my best forte. I will use empathy and cunning.
Same.
Likewise.
I will go with composure again.
Botch.
Two for me.
Is it the lock?
No.
I
One
have 9
success.
dice, but I got 1 success.
Sorry, what did you get, Mycelian?
Two.
2. Yeah. That's kind of appropriate, I think. Yeah. So the 3 syads, you feel it's not so much a lock as things coming into alignment. It is a gap being bridged in understanding and compatibility of thought. For Frankie, you have that same experience because you're in through the mind link, but your natural sort of sense of paranoia, of skepticism, you see this happening, and you see it as your psi-wielding friends coming into alignment with this big psi entity, and you don't feel that inherent connection. So it is incredibly suspicious from the outside looking in, essentially. Like, you have a real fear that your friends are about to get gobbled up. And this odd voice resonates out, and now audible and comprehensible, and it says, you begin to understand the enormity of what we are, of what they are. We are the Doyen, and we are terrible. And that is where we're going to end it for tonight.
Ooh,
Ooh, big revelations. Big doings.
Big old doings.
That was cool as hell, Scott.
Thank you.
That was really cool. Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at our aspirations for XP. Did anyone achieve a short-term aspiration?
I think so, because I just had find the people trapped in the simulation. I didn't say free them.
Fair.
I thought it was gonna be a lot harder to find them.
Yeah, I didn't update it, but I wanted it to be play in the simulation or interact with the simulation.
Yeah, that'll work.
Cool.
I did. I have a rather old short-term one, which is learn more about the Bang scene's history and culture.
You absolutely did that. What about Frankie? Did you get any of them?
I'm pretty sure I got into trouble.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. So I think, yeah.
All right, so that's one per aspiration and one collectively. Did anyone achieve a long-term aspiration? I don't think we've gotten that far.
Nope, we still got to work on Bram.
Yeah, Bram, we got to get some money, honey.
Oh, I had an awful idea, which is, Bram, why don't you sign up your mother to replace one of the people in the simulation?
That is an awful idea.
Bram, once you guys are out of the simulation, punches you in the face.
Yeah. I believe you did spend half your momentum, so that's another one. And this is, in fact, the completion of a group story and the beginning of a whole new one. So, yes, you'll also get that 3 aspirations. So, did everyone have fun tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So, is that a total of 3 XP?
Yeah, it's 3 XP for the group story. Plus
3
one.
plus.
Yeah, so a group story is 3 XP.
So, it would be 5.
No, that would be 6. One for an aspiration, one for everyone getting an aspiration, one for spending over half your momentum, and then 3 for the group story.
Yes.
Heard.
Awesome. All right. So does anyone have anything they would like to plug before we end for the evening?
Nope, can't think of anything.
Nope.
All right.
Good.
Well, I would like to plug a whole bunch of stuff. You know, if you want to support the show and the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Simulacra Studios. That is the best way of helping us keep the lights on and telling these stories. You can also check out my Nexus book, Beyond Electric Dreams, around which a lot of this game has been built. You can definitely check out the OpCast, which is all about the Trinity Continuum. And yeah, generally those are what I want. You'll find all that information in the show notes. And we will not be gaming next time. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be taking a break. But then we will be back on the Simulacra Studios Twitch channel for the premieres of the game. And you can, of course, find it always on our YouTube channel for the backup VODs. But we will see everybody in about a month. And I know I had a blast running this. This has been a long time coming, getting you guys to the final boss, as it were.
Mhm.
Now you're ready to change. Gonna have to change the world.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Love
so
that.
we will see each
Well,
other in
no.
about a month. Bye bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye.
Happy
Yep.
holidays.
Happy
Happy New
holidays.
Year.